I was also really liked the ideas of John Cage and all those Black Mountain artists, John Cage, Merce Cunningham, Rauschenberg, Marcel Duchamp to some degree, just those ideas of randomness. This is at Shigakuen, the boathouse. The man-made lake behind, underneath the floating maples, to me just got the spirit of the place. And the background is so much, the soft background is so important in photography, to make your backgrounds help complement your subject, your primary subject. So it's kind of a dreaminess. This is like the retired emperor's villa. So I wanted to kind of capture that dreaminess. Here's Matsuo Taisho's shrine, shot just as the moon is rising in twilight. But these are rocks that, to me, I guess I could say straight out, I'm just kind of in love with them. And I really see rocks as alive. They're not inanimate, they are living kind of like beings with spirit. And the assignment is to photograph the spirit of the stones. I really found that I connected with kind of Shinto ideas of nature and sort of the living spirit of nature that is very apparent in the gardens. Okay, so this time of year, all these azaleas back here that look like stones or a hillside would be just ablaze with color. Okay, imagine them as like crimson red or white. I can't tell which kind of azaleas these are, but that's what you get when you go into different seasons. Okay. Ooh, here's a fun one. This was one where everybody was looking one way down at the Tenryuji garden, which was right up there, and I looked that way and saw this. Just the mixing, which to me are very basic elements of the maple leaf, the momiji, that scarlet leaf with the bamboo. A real potent mixture of basic flavors. And just the depth of going back into that, receding into the shadows. In Japanese culture and Japan, for those of you who have been there, it's very much about shadows and what's going on in the art. So, okay. Just a few more of these, and this is stones at Tofukuji, one of my favorite gardens in the south side of Kyoto. Harmony of proportion, just really paying attention to that. Getting lost in the space that goes from a small defined area to an unlimited area where that has no boundary, where the rocks begin to float, where it can be outer space, it can be islands in the ocean, it can be the satellite view of the earth, which was very much my experience in the dry sand gardens, is that you can't really peg the dimension. You can't really say, oh, that garden is 20 feet by 50 feet. That has no meaning at all. The space tends to expand and contract without warning. Especially a garden like when I say Ryoanji, does that conjure up an image? It's a very famous Zen garden. So the space, I just sat on the veranda and just watch the space go unlimited and then shrink and then go unlimited and shrink. And it's like that. It's like an accordion. Difficult experience to explain, but that's what's going on there. In other words, it frees you. It frees you beyond rationality. And I think that, I'm not trying to say that I was having a Zen experience, but who knows? It was definitely bumping me out of anything that I would consider normal. And opening my mind to appreciating the world on another level. This is at Kodaiji in the spring. That's a cherry tree. And the condition here was that the garden was only open on a certain, few days, and they had rolled this black carpet out through the sand so you could walk up to this cone, which was otherwise inaccessible during the rest of the year. And I just, said, I'm just going to guts this one out, and just took my gear out there, set up, shot, and split. But this is what I saw, and I knew I was going to get. I knew I was going to see it. I love round objects down near the bottom of a shot. I think it brings things, it solidifies the energy. It's like kind of like Tai Chi. It just gets you very balanced. So, Sam Abel, the National Geographic photographer, really liked this shot. It was his favorite shot he'd ever seen in the Japanese. So, and I'm very proud of that, because he's a tremendous photographer. And one more. And this will complete my first Kyoto rocks. This is a bamboo botanical garden, basically. A bamboo collection in Kyoto. I was very interested in the kind of the permeable depth, the layers that I saw back there, the lines floating through, besides the vertical lines of the bamboo. And it just set up a world that I felt I could get lost in. And for me, the line that did it, the line that set it up, was this right here. This white river, fluid, which to me it's just as fluid as water. That little S, to me that put the image, the composition on a beautiful foundation, floating kind of liquid foundation, and it just grew from there. So that's what I would do basically every day, was go out and surrender myself to the gardens, go in, see what happened, just be in a receptive state, and try and photograph that. Okay, make that the subject of my shots. Photographing the garden, but very much paying attention to what was going on in here. And it was quite wonderful. And it was so wonderful I'm going back. And if any of you would like to go with me, you're welcome to go. And there's information in my little notebook, which is up on the tour for photographers that I'm leading to Kyoto this fall. It'll be a small group, and the whole object is to completely immerse ourselves into the world of gardens and shoot. Okay. So I came back to the U.S. after a year of doing that. I decided I wanted to become a garden photographer. And my experience with telling people that was they either burst out laughing or they'd go, "Oh, what's that?" But I've been doing it for 17 years and basically shooting for magazines and books on an international level, of which I know I could go into a garden and shoot it for publication. And it's a certain way of seeing, it's a certain way of composing an image. It's being very conscious of the publication you're working for,